everyone! As you can see, this is a professional production, no expense spared. Today I'm going to take you through step one. This is the most important step of all. In my opinion, if you don't accept step one and you're an alcoholic and addict, then it's going to be a rocky road for you. So I come in fighting because this is a fight for your life. Am I being over dramatic? I don't know. Ask my friend. He didn't get step one. Anyhow, today I'm also going to talk about CBT, and I'm going to do a little remix, fresh, because the two can mix quite well. My advice to you, do not limit yourself, grab everything you can that is going to help you in your recovery. Okay? So, the first word in step one is we, not I. You've done I hasn't worked. We, which means you don't have to do this on your own. Loneliness is a big part of this condition, so you don't have to struggle alone. You just got to reach out and ask for help. So, we admitted we were powerless. What does powerless mean? Well, it means doing things against your will. So I'm not going to use today, you wash all your works out, throw them in the bin, 2 minutes later you're in the bin cleaning them out because you're powerless. If you told me you'd sold your children for drugs or alcohol, I would not be surprised, because I understand the power of this condition. Okay? So powerlessness means going to jail, losing your wife, losing your husband, losing your kids, because you had to feed your habit. Some people would rather feed the habit than feed their children. If your addiction hasn't reached that stage, fantastic, but the further you go in addiction, you'll cross the line time and time again, until in the end there is nothing that you won't do. Okay? So, I prefer the term addiction rather than powerless over alcohol, because many people that went to AA are now using drugs instead. So I prefer addiction. That can mean any addictive behaviour, from eating, sex, work. Your addiction will find a way through. So it's like having a leaking roof. You'll stop it here and it will pour through there. Okay? Now lives become unmanageable. What does that mean? Well, it kind of means prison, police, social services, health scares, doctors, whatever problems that your unmanageability is causing you because of your powerlessness over drugs or alcohol. Okay? So there's an internal unmanageability, which is your emotions are all over the place. 1 minute you're happy, next minute you're sad, 1 minute you're laughing, next minute you're crying. So basically you're an emotional basket case. Alright? So put very simply, we admitted our lives were crap, and everything else was crap as well. Yeah. So how does CBT come into this? Well, I'm going to explain to you, give you an explanation of how step one and how I can explain it to you in CBT. So anyone with a problem, I have 5 parts to that problem. Situation, your thoughts about the situation, that impacts your moods, Your moods influence your behaviour. Then there's physical element. CBT is you feel how you think. The 12 steps says it's a disease of negativity. So in other words, something happens and automatically your first thought is doom, gloom, oh my God, I can't cope. Alright? So I'm going to give you a situation, and that situation is being powerless over drugs and alcohol. So let's examine your thoughts around that. Usually they go along the lines of, I'm losing control, I can't cope, I'm pathetic, I'm a failure. Okay? That impacts on the way that you feel. So if that's what you're thinking, you're going to be feeling anxious, depressed, sad, angry because you're out of control, because you're afraid. Okay? Now that impacts on the way that you behave. Because if you're feeling anxious, depressed, sad, what are you going to do? You're most probably going to medicate those feelings. Okay? So, behaviours, people start to isolate, they withdraw. So, if you're not sitting behind closed doors and closed curtains, not answering the phone, well done. The further you go in your addiction, you most probably will be. Okay? Some of the behaviours, controlling behaviour, controlling other people to make you feel less anxious. You know, if everyone would just do what I wanted them to do, then I would feel less anxious. Okay? So control is a big part of this condition. Anxious people like to control. If you're taking drugs and alcohol, you're controlling the way that you're going to feel. You kind of know how you're going to feel after 10 pints of beer, half a gram of coke, half a gram of smack, whatever your poison, you kind of know how you're going to feel. In recovery, when you've accepted powerlessness, you don't know how you're going to feel from 1 minute to the next. So you might wake up feeling happy, next minute feeling sad, anxious. So that's quite confusing for someone that's been using drugs and alcohol, controlling their emotions for many, many years. Okay? So what's the physical part? Well, think along the lines of anxiety. Symptoms usually sweating, shaking, frequent urination, tingling feet and toes, butterfly in stomach, headaches, tension. That's all coming from the way that you think. Okay? So it's really important that you make this connection between thoughts, moods, behaviours and how you feel physically. Now a lot of these physical symptoms here are very similar to withdrawal symptoms. Yeah, so if you're feeling anxious, and a lot of people can confuse that with withdrawals, especially in early recovery. Okay? So like I said, one of the main behaviours for anxious people is control. Step 1 tells you you're powerless. You have no control. So that's quite an important thing to consider. Also, I want you to consider, what are you in control of in your life? Very little. Between there to there, that's what I'm in control of. Everything outside of that, I do not have any power over. How much energy have you wasted trying to control people, places and situations that you've not had any control over? Okay? So, in future videos, I'm going to help you look into step 1, learn how to respond to it, how to keep clean and sober, and hopefully one day at a time you won't get back in the ring with King Alcohol. So goodbye for now, but stay tuned, more videos are coming. Okay, respect.